Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the weekly outlook, and let's go. So I'll start with this chart since I just posted this for everybody. You can see it. What we're looking for here is, by the way, if you like the charts, don't forget to click a like on it. If you're new, you know where the like is. That 59 there is where you go click your like on that one, so that it makes the chart visible. The chart comes on top and more people see it. So what is the analysis for this? Let's start from the daily. From the daily structure, I think all of you remember we were looking for this big, after this big move up, for this to come down pretty sharp. And that didn't happen. So what happened is it started to come down. It gave us a trade, and then it stopped here and started to go back. Well, we saw this structure. I thought that would be a correction and more downside, and it's still possible. It is still possible that this is some kind of a corrective structure in making a bigger one. So I'm looking for one more downside, break this low. And at this point, we will know whether we're going to get one more upside, which means we're going to get one more of this up, making this 1, 2, 3. That is also possible. That will still be part of the bigger monthly corrective structure, right? We've got a sharp move down here. We're in this correction. They're making a move down. They could make one more up and then come down. Right? If this keeps coming down, good for us. It will probably come pretty deep, and then we will see. Breaking the low will tell us what it's going to do. So right now, I'm looking for one more move down. 4-hour chart, we're in the downtrend in the 4-hour. We got a nice impulse. We're correcting up on that impulse. I think this is a correction. I don't see it any other way but a correction right now. So what you can wait for is go in the 1-hour. Wait for some kind of a flag here. If you get a flag in here, you can sell the flag on the break of this structure, right? And see how far this goes. I'm expecting it to go beyond the low, so that should be a nice trade if it goes. If it doesn't go, well, you get out of the trade, right? You should have a place where you expect to get out if it goes wrong. Wait for the breakout, because if you don't get a breakout, you may end up trapped in a trade that doesn't go, right? So the best thing to do is wait for it. It will consolidate. It always does. Let me just show you a good example of how you can trade that. Here's how you can trade that. You wait for them to make an impulse. You wait for them to make the correction, and you take the break. You got to break out there, right? You got to break out here. Wait for that correction. It could be more long drawn out. Here's a perfect one. By the way, one we traded, right? Perfect setup, right? You got an impulse, you got a correction, and then you take the trade. That confirms the trade to the downside. So pretty much this is just started. That consolidation may just started. So probably tomorrow will be a nice day to look for this trade, right? So if you get it, don't miss it, because at least you're going to come down to break this low, and it will be a very nice trade to the downside. How low it can go, we'll see. Okay. I would be targeting breaking this low. So for me, I would be looking to see whether they can break this low before they turn, right? So that's a nice risk to reward trade if you get it. Okay, who is this person who hope they lose their account? What's your problem? Daniel, what's your problem? Keep your language very nice in here, right? Don't insult people in the room, otherwise you'll be removed. Let's go. Dollar index. Remember we said last week we're in a big sideways consolidation, and there's a good chance we will make a 1, 2, 3 wave structure, right? So what we're going to be looking for is a continuation of this to the downside. But first, I think we will get some upside consolidation. You're always expecting 3 wave structures within them. You can see that we are already getting a breakout there in a 1-hour. This is what we were looking for in our room. So this could come back pretty much high. See, this one went the back high, and then we could get that continuation. This up move here is what should give us the downside on the New Zealand, right? So keep an eye on this. We don't trade the dollar index here, but the New Zealand trade will come. The Euro trade will come, right? Euro, we're looking for a downside on this. I posted this on Friday. All of you should see this trade. I expect it to come here and then more upside. Now, it could break. There's a good chance that this could break. Remember Euro, let me just remind you, if you're in my webinar for the last couple of weeks, you remember this pattern, right? We said They're going to make a three wave. Remember, we insist that this cannot be all the consolidation, because if you look here, you're getting a 1, 2, 3 wave structure. So we're expecting a third wave up here, right? So what we're going to be looking for is this pullback was more of a part of the bigger correction. I do believe they will break that top. So if you get a pullback here, it could go deep. If they break this structure, let me just get this clear. If you take this sell in this one and it breaks that trend line, expect them to come to this level and then go back up. Now this would be a 1, 2, 3 in the middle. And that happens, you get deep corrections like this before they go, right? You may see 1, 2, 3 very deep correction like this one here. A 1, 2, 3 deep correction, then they fall. So it's possible we get a 3 wave correction before they go up. We're still looking for upside, at least under that trend line. So in a 4 hour, it's a trade to the downside, and if they break, you can keep the trade. I would actually move my stop and wait to see if they break out, because if they break out of this, you want to keep it to break the low. That should be a pretty good one, right? And then look for another upside. After that low, if they bounce off of this, and you will see the bounces, you saw it here and we saw it here, right? Those were trades to the upside. As you see those bounces, you can get out of the trade and look for the buy, right? So keep your eyes on this trade. It's a nice setup. I think it will go. If they go up, ignore it. The up is short-lived. If they go up and you get a buy setup, it's going to be above the top and it will be short-lived. So you may get a short trade, but then you want to get out of it. Pound USD, it's a very sharp move to the upside. We're still in the daily consolidation. I think you can see this. It's still the daily consolidation. And that means it could still come to this top, right? As long as we stay in that consolidation, that possibility exists. We were looking for that possibility a little earlier. Remember this one, watch it for probably a move up. Then they came, they make a low, they go. We got some nice trades in there in our trading room. We pretty much figure it out pretty fast. We got this one, we got this. And some of us were in that, but I'm out of it now. I just got taken out of it. I can tell you that because my stop was under here. I got in somewhere here and I moved it up, right? So I got taken out. What you can look for here now is a flag and some downside. I think the downside is corrective for more upside. But if you sell and they give you a sudden drop, you're okay with that. You're looking for a sell setup. And if it drops, great. If it goes slowly, you get a small trade and then you look for the trade to the upside. So I'm more convinced it's going to go up this time, right? It's more to the upside. The down move is corrective in nature. But, you know, keep an open eye and see which one it gives you. New Zealand, Aussie, we're in this sell already. I can tell you. So I posted this as an update because I looked at this structure here that they make 1, 2, 3. Remember, they broke that top slightly and then they dropped. So we're still in the consolidation zone. We haven't got out of it as yet. Only breaking this top, the red, breaking that up negates the structure being a triangle. So as long as the structure is a triangle, this down move is still possible, right? If you look at the similarity of this move going down and this move going down, and look at these two for similarities to the upside. So once they broke that up and we recognize that, we got in the trade, right? It's an excellent risk for reward trade, right? It's an excellent risk for, okay guys, knock it off. Let's keep all the chatting off until we finish the webinar. Just relax. If you guys are gonna get on like that, I'll remove all the people in the conversation there who are chatting. Just stop the chatting. We don't have time for nonsense, right? We really don't have time for that. Let's go. If you have time to waste, find somewhere else. So once they broke this stop, right? And we do have divergence in the chart. I can show you that on a daily. There's strong divergence in the chart here, right? Which means that this move is not going very strong. It's a good sell setup. So I'm not making a trade call. I'm telling you what I did. So I sold it, right? It's up to you to decide what you did. I'm in the trade, right? And if I win or lost that trade, I wouldn't mind. I can tell you where my stop is. It's above the red line. I can tell you where I'm targeting. I'm targeting the low of this triangle, right? Now, it will not go in one straight line to the low of the triangle. So if I get this first drop pretty sharp, that would be nice, right? Let's see if that happens. If they give you a first drop and they start to get into I'll probably get out of the trade, wait for the consolidation, and then go for that, right? I don't know how, if and how it will go, but as a setup, I think it's perfect, right? Win or loss, that's what you do. You go into, you do your analysis, you figure out what the trade is, and then you decide you're going to risk in that trade or not, right? The analysis tell me there's a very good chance, very high probability of this thing dropping. I like the area where it is. I like the risk to reward, and I said, okay, I'm in the trade. That's it, right? If I win the trade, I win. If I lose, I lose. I don't care. No one trade should bother you, right? No one win or loss. That's the whole point of trading. So let's see. If you want to be on the safer side of the trade, here's what you can do. If you want to be on the safer side of the trade, you can do this. You can wait for it to come down some more, like this one here. Drop down some more, make a flag, and it will make a flag. Don't worry about that. It will make a flag, and then you take the breakout of the flag. That will be a safer trade. Now, what are the risks of that trade? The risk is that this thing could drop suddenly and you might not get that pullback, right? There's a chance that the drop could be sudden and you might not get that pullback. You may get the pullback much lower, at a lower point. That's the only risk. And the reason I take this, I'm okay. I'm okay with the risk on this one, so I took the trade, right? New Zealand, let's see. But that's a risky trade. What I did is a risky trade. It's not the safest trade, right? Just if you're new in the room and you don't have the experience of trading, you must know that this is a very high risk trade, right? The best one is to wait for the consolidation. New Zealand, pretty much same thing like the one I just posted, right? Same, very similar structure. We are expecting this to break, make a flag, and go. Now, the New Zealand is not one I would take like I took on the Aussie, and there are many reasons for that. We're not going to give the reasons in this room, right? There's a reason why we took the Aussie, but the New Zealand, I would advise you to wait for the breakout, right? So you probably wait for the breakout on this one, wait for the flag, and then get in this trade, right? Let's go. CAD. CAD, by the way, remember we're looking for this setup, and I think, let me just clear this up at least to you guys who come to the webinar to know. When I post and I said wait for the breakout and you don't get a breakout, you're not supposed to be in the trade, right? And ignore the trolls. There are going to be one or two trolls who are very crazy. Like one guy said, every time I said sell, I buy. I just said sell the Aussie, go buy it. I wish you'd go buy the Aussie. Or I wish he buy every time I say sell, because he's probably broke right now. He did say he lost a lot of accounts, and I guess if he's doing that, he will lose more, because that's not how trading works, right? So what you're looking for is a breakout. You don't get a breakout, they go up. These are rare cases. These are contracting flats, as we call them. Rare cases. They're not very often. We don't forecast them. There's no need to forecast a contracting flat. You wait for that, you get this, and this is a wonderful trade. You're getting some deeper pullback here. I think it's going to be a deeper upside. I think we'll see more consolidation here, and then you can get a wonderful trade to the downside. I don't think they will break this low. I believe we're still in some kind of a consolidation on the, sorry, let me go to daily. That should work. We're still in consolidation on this pattern, right? So the breakout here also didn't give us the trade to the downside. We saw that pretty early once we made this pattern here, and then they started to go up. So I think we will come back here, go back up more, come back, go back up more, just like they did here. We're making another part of a bigger corrective structure, right? And once that, yes, a bigger ABC, as somebody said, it's a bigger ABC, and then we'll look for the downside. The downside will come. Here's the thing, guys, track that trade. Don't lose sight of that downside. Let me take this off. I'll spend a second more on this trade because I think it's important. Every time you think that the structure is changing, go back to the higher time frame. It will help you. You see this here? And look at this. They're pretty much, this thing took a long time before it dropped. This took a long time before it dropped. That took a long time before it dropped. But that did not change. This will drop. Whether it drops from here, whether it drops from there, whether it drops from there, it will drop. And you don't want to miss that drop. Now, consolidation is a time factor. It sometimes takes very, very long before you get that up move. Here is a good one. When you had that first impulse up there, look how long this took before it broke. See that? If you're looking time factor, and it did make a three-wave structure, if you're looking at this in terms of time factor, this made 1, 2, 3. You're making 1, 2, you make a third one, and then look for that drop. Possible, very possible. If you miss this, look what you missed. If you miss this, you don't know how much you're going to miss. It's quite a lot. So you don't want to miss the trade. Focus on the bigger time frame, then come to the smaller time frame and trade. Why you want to sell? What if this is the start of the down move? We don't know that, right? So you probably want to take the sell. If this is the start of the down move, you just don't want to miss it. So look for a sell setup. I think it's pretty easy, right? Let's see. Let's go. Swiss, also similar. Sell setup there. By the way, we got in this one. We were tempted as to which to take during the news event, whether it should be the Swiss, whether it should be the CAD, whether it should be the yen. I took the yen. Some of my traders took the CAD. Some took the Swiss. And as usual, I picked the wrong one, right? Because they made more profit in it than I did. The yen did fall eventually, so it took a longer time. But the CAD was amazing. We were looking at it, and those who were in the CAD, how fast that moved. Right? We have a special strategy we used to trade when the news events are coming. So all of these were down trades. Yen, very similar. Same thing here again, right? We said watch for the breakout. You did get a breakout here, but it wasn't much of an effective one. But if you took a loss, you should exit the trade there. It goes up, trade to the downside, trade to the downside, trade to the downside. Look for a deeper correction and trade to the downside. There's another down trade coming here. Wait for a correction to the upside. I think they're correcting right now. The correction to the upside might be a little messy. I don't think it's going to go in a straight, so we could see more pullback like this. I think it's a deeper correction because we have completed some smaller corrections already. You see, they've completed this small one, this small one. This time for a bigger correction before you go. I don't know what strategy you want to use, Robbie. That's okay. That's up to you. You'll have to have tested that strategy specifically on the CAT to see how it works, right? If you're trading we don't discuss the strategies in here, right? What I do is I give you a sense of direction. I tell you where my analysis tell me that the trade is likely going to go with a very high probability, right? So whatever strategy you use, if it works for you, great. We got a lot of traders making money who are not in my group, but comes to these webinars, and some of them even offer to share with me. Thank you for that. I don't need it. I don't ask for it. It's okay. You're welcome. But it's nice to know that they wanted to share with me. So watch this. Look for that move up. EURUSD. I think EURUSD is going to make a deeper correction here. We have made that sharp move up, and in the daily structure, we're still in the downtrend. See, we're still in that downtrend. So there is still one more wave to the upside. I think they will come a little lower and then go. But keep an eye on it. They may go sideways. If this breaks to the upside, we could get a sideways move here before they go. Something like they did here. 1, 2, 3, and then up. See that move there? So if they start to make a 1, 2, 3 with up, I would look for one more to the downside. Right? If they start to make this pattern in here, we'll look for one more to the upside. What is it on the 4-hour? Look for some upside. You can see that this is likely going to break out. If this breaks out of this structure, you're going to get a test of this top. This should be a nice trade. So that would be a good trade if you want. Right? Keep an eye on that one. Let's go. Euro New Zealand. I think we're correcting also, just like this 1, 2, 3 correction in there. I actually specifically show you this one and that one. Put it in a 4-hour. This is a 1, 2, 3, and we're making a 1, 2, 3 here. I believe they will complete the 1, 2, 3 before they go. They'll probably go slowly down and then up. So you're going to get a 1, 2, 3 structure. Look for the buy setup. Don't miss the buy setup. This one is amazing. Don't miss it. The potentials are huge, and it could go very, very, very far. You will get a lot of small corrections like those. If you look previously, see, you get one here, you get one there, you get a deeper correction, you get another one, you get another one, you get a deeper correction. This is a little mess, but if you know how to trade it, you can make money both ways here. And then you get that sharp spike up. Now, they don't have to repeat exactly this structure up, but they're going to go up pretty fast. So don't miss the buy opportunity when the consolidation is over, right? Don't miss it, because this is going to be a real good opportunity for you, right? If you miss the first one, Don't miss this one. EuroCAD, I think we're going to get some pullback here too, and also upside. Keep your eyes on that. You may even get a good sell setup on the EuroCAD. All right, look for the breakout, pull a little trend line, look for the breakout. Let me pull this for you. There may be a nice short-term sell setup here. Very short-term. Yep. Break of this structure, you can get a short-term sell setup. Look for the breakout, look for the flag, look for the breakout, look for the flag, sell it, break the low, watch for upside. You're getting your structure there, right? Pretty easy, right? So watch for this one. Euro yen, we're also consolidating. I'll be careful of selling this. I don't think it's going to go very far. On the daily structure, we broke out. We broke out of this structure. I don't think they're making a 1, 2, 3 very big consolidation here, right? But just in case, if they're making a very big consolidation, you can look for a sell setup, but treat it as a very, very short-term sell setup. Not this one. I think this will go up some more, and you may get a sell setup here. Once they break this low, you're looking for upside, right? Once they break that low, you start to look for upside. No song. Anybody else having problem with song? Only if you're having problem with song, give me a yes. Okay, then it's probably your side. You need to, the person who wrote no song, you need to check your side. Everybody else can hear me. Let's go. Euro New Zealand, Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss, possible some more downside also, right? So Euro Swiss, look for this trade. There's a nice trade setup forming here. Look for this trade here, right? We're in that daily structure coming down. Every time they spiked up, they came down, right? They spiked up. So they'll probably make a flag here, and then you can look for that trade. It might not come very nice. I can tell you that. It's not a very smooth trade. It comes very, very slow. Euro Pung, we're making a pullback here. We're actually making a flag, one more up, and then I think the downside. We're looking for 1, 2, 3 wave, and then the downside, right? So you can look for a sell setup somewhere in there. Go to the 4-hour. We're in a consolidation. You probably don't want to trade anything here. Wait for this to break out. I'll probably even take this off and look for the bigger breakout. Wait for this to actually, it's probably going to go somewhere here, and then wait for this breakout. This would give you a nice trade to the upside. To the downside, not the best trades. You can already see that, right? Not very good trading to the downside. Pangos, I would be looking for upside trade. I think this is easy, right? You can see once you start to do these things. Let me show you one previously. Once you start to do that on the chart, once you start to see these patterns, look for an upside. See that? And don't miss it. Don't miss it, because if you may miss all of that. It's about to happen? I think so. Let's go to the 4-hour. By the way, I'll repost this one. And if you like it, don't forget to click the like so more people see it. Good. Watch for this breakout. I would allow it to break the structure first, though. Right? Let it break the structure, then make a flag, and then you take the trade. It will make a flag when it breaks the structure, right? So this could be. Can this thing come some more down? I think so. They can. You probably don't want to be interested in the downside. It's limited. The upside is what is big. The downside is limited. The upside has huge potential. So it's the upside trade you want, not the downside. The downside is very short trade going, and it's a mess. It's probably going to take you out for break even or for a little loss. Pung New Zealand, pretty much upside, but this is not so aggressive. I think they will go tag that top there. They'll probably go like this, pull back, go like that, pull back. They'll go. So this one is not so aggressive. The Pung Oz is a better deal, right? To the upside, which means Aussie to the downside may happen. If it happens, good for me. If it doesn't, we'll see what happens, right? But it looks good. Punkad, we were expecting this to break and go. I think all of you remember that, this to break and go. That never happened. It started to go sideways, and then we said, let's relook at the structure. And once we see this, I think there is a good chance for one more down before they go. Completing a 1, 2, 3 wave structure. 1, 2, 3 before they go. So the best thing to do is stay out of this. This one does not have a good setup to trade. Punk Chief, definitely upside. Let's go to the daily so you can see that structure. Daily, we're looking for one more up here within this sideways move. On the 4 hour, it's more something like this. You've got one up, you've got a 1, 2, 3 down, and on this could probably come back to about here before they go down, right? So looking for some up move, put it in the 1 hour. It's not very aggressive. This was a nice trade if anybody took this one. This was probably a not such a good trade, but they will probably make some pullback. Wait for a very nice corrective structure before you buy. Don't buy in these structures when they're reversing so fast. 4 hour, let me see if you get possible reverse to the downside. Not a total reversal, but yeah, you could get a deeper correction here. It's going to move pretty slow. So they may make a deeper correction here and then go. Probably wait for this correction before you buy. May even get a 60 minutes or 15 minutes sell setup on it. Yep, there's a good chance for a 60-minute sell setup here. Short term, if they make a flag here, one down and then up. So you'll probably get a short-term sell setup on that. Peng Yen, if you guys keep your comment to the end, I'll answer all the questions. We always open for questions at the end. Peng Yen, I think short term we can get a retest of this low. They got a nice flag in there for a retest of the low, and then probably up, right? So keep an eye out for the retest of the low here in the Peng Yen, and then the upside. Because the bigger picture is still to the upside. See that? The bigger picture of this is still to the upside, and the upside could be big. So, well, once they retest this low here, they could start to go up. I would be looking for the upside, and I'll probably see if I'm interested in trading this downside. I'm not sure about that. But to the upside, I'll definitely be trading. CAD yen, a nice sell setup, very short term sell setup here. And then you're looking for a big trade to the upside. 4 hour and the daily. Daily, the bigger picture, I think you can all see it, is upside. But on the shorter term, this is coming down. So you probably want to take the first trade you will get to this, to the downside. I would not be trading that. The reason I would not be trading it is this. This thing made a move down, made a move down, made a move down, made a move down. This may be the last move down before they go back up. Give me this trade here to the upside. I don't want to be selling in the very last piece of that thing going down, right? You want the bigger trade to the upside. If you guys wait, I'll do all the charts, right? It's easier to wait and let's do everything and then you go. Aussie yen, very similar structure. Aussie yen, I think there may be a drop here first before we go back up. Break this low. We have got a 1, 2, 3. I think all of you remember this chart. One more up and then the downside. See, expect it to come up there and then start that downside, right? They did go up some. They came up to about this level. You can see that. Double top, and it looks like they're starting that downside. So on a 1 hour, you could see what we're looking for. You've got this move down. You broke the structure, 1, 2, 3 up, and it looks like we're going to get this trade here. Very nice setup, by the way. Wait for a flag and then sell. See, wait for this thing to make a flag and then sell, or wait for the break of this low before you sell, right? That will confirm the trade to the downside. New Zealand yen, stay out of this. Swiss yen, stay out of that. New Zealand CAD. Swiss yen has a nice short-term sell setup, but I would hate to advise you to take that trade, right? Because this thing does a lot of crazy spikes. So they may take you in here, go there, and then come back here, and you'll probably take a loss before they get the trade, right? So I wouldn't advise to trade it if you don't have enough experience trading that pair, right? New Zealand CAD, it's making a deeper correction. So we'll probably see this come back here, and then we could see one more down within that structure, right? So probably stay out of that for now. We may look for a buy setup if we get a flag like this. If they make a flag like that here now, we can look for a buy setup. That will take about a couple days, so there's no need to pay attention to it right now. Aussie Cat, similar. Aussie Cat keeps going up and up more. I'm waiting for that to break, but it keeps pushing up. Now, I don't think that thing is going up to the top right now because I want you to look at this structure, right? We made a move up, a correction, and a move up. We got a deep pullback here, and then we drop. We made a move there, pull back, and then we go. We made a move. This pullback is amazingly deep, right? If they break, we'll take the sell. If they keep pushing up to the top, I would not be in the trade because I'm not interested in that trade there. Right? Unless they break out of this structure and tell me, well, that wasn't the structure that I was looking at. So far, it is the structure that I see. So unless they break it and show me, and then you can see the divergence in here. So a break of this trend line will be a good reason to sell, and it's a very nice trade to the downside. Let's see if we get it, right? I'll wait for that. I'm not interested in the upside. Aussie, New Zealand, we're almost at the top of the daily. See that? Remember this one? It's going to come back to the top. Well, we are almost there. The question is, are they going to break out now? Or do we get one more to the downside before we go? You have 1, you have 3, you can get 5. 2, 4. So you can get 5 waves coming to test this low again and then go back up. Question is, which will it be? You will never know. That's the interesting thing. You will never know. There is a trade to the upside here. If you look at it, we are correcting right now. A very nice trade setup, by the way. See that correction? You could take this trade to the top here and then just be careful. If you're lucky, they break. If you're unlucky, you move your stop and they take you out and start to look for the downside. Right? So let's see. It's not a 50-50, Robbie, but just that you don't know how to analyze the chart. That's what I'm saying. You don't know patterns. That means for you, it's a 50-50. Not knowing a language doesn't mean the language does not exist, right? I speak Russian. Do you speak Russian? That doesn't mean Russian is not a language because you can't speak it, right? It's the same thing with chart analysis. If you don't know how to analyze a chart, does not mean nobody can analyze the chart. Just leave space for that you don't know how to do it. I know how to do it. And I'm telling you, I know what to do when it gets there. It's just that I'm not telling you. I said you don't know because I know you don't analyze the chart the way I do, right? Now, sometimes in a certain pattern, of course, I don't know what they're going to do because it's an incomplete pattern, right? And when a pattern is incomplete, I can't guess my way out. I just said, let me wait. And then it will tell me what it's doing when the pattern completes itself, right? In this case, we will know what to do when it gets there. It's just that I can't share that with you here, right? I just can't share my analysis on how we do it with you. But when it gets there, don't worry. You'll know what it's going to do. Silver, we knew it was going to come down. You don't think so? Go look at my analysis. We knew that was going to come down. We even very close to tell you where and when it is going to break, right? Some people were looking for one more wave up, and I said, watch it for it to break. I think you should go look at the chart when I posted this. I don't remember what time frame was it, 4 hour, 1 hour. But I remember posting it, and some people said, no, be careful, it's going to go up more. Well, no, it didn't go up more. It didn't make any wave more to the upside. And there's a good reason for that. It's because of how we do our analysis, right? Our analysis is not based on putting a lot of numbers and letters on the chart and believing you're an Elliott waver because you can count from 1 to 5 and you can write from ABC. That doesn't make you an Elliott waver. That doesn't make you a wave trader. It's understanding how to isolate a single wave in the pair in this chart. And that is why we know that at this point, the wave is complete and it's going to go down. What you wait for? By the way, here, the funny thing is, we were trading this to the upside during the news event. And okay, I should not say this to you guys because with the broker, we were trading it and actually gave it back. But they took us out on this week that didn't exist. That week does not exist. If your broker took you out on that week, write them, call them, tell them to give you back your money. We got back our money from our broker for that, for taking us out on a week that does not exist, right? We had an entry order above this top. They took us in for no reason, and then they came, took us out, and then it went. Well, they give us back. They didn't only give us back the stop loss, they give us the profit because we closed the trade there. So if your broker did that to you, write them, call them, tell them, no, there wasn't a wick on that chart. That did not go down, it went up. By the way, there's a nice short-term trade here. And I think there will be one more up. If you write them and you call them and you insist, they'll probably give you back. Show them go to 3 different brokers and show them where that trade, that wick does not exist. And they'll probably give you back your money. Right? Amazing. We can't tell you which broker did that, but they did it for us. Some of our traders did not get taken out because their broker did not show up that wick. Right? So I think this is correcting down. I don't think it's a start of the bigger downside, but I think more downside is in this. Right? Based on what we're thinking, this is going to go more down. Just you need some consolidation here. So on the 4 hour, on the 1 hour, you should sell it just in case. What if this is the start of the downside? I don't think we already have 1, 2, 3 waves. We have 1, 2, 3 here. This could be going down. That's a nice sell setup in the making. Nope, that wasn't the Dukas. That was in another broker. Gold, also same thing, short-term sell. See, gold does not have that wick, right? Some of our traders took the gold and the silver, so they managed to get both. Watch for this here. I think it's a short-term trade to the low here, and then probably one more up before they come down. So you will get a short-term sell here if you're interested in it. Look for one more trade up and then downside. Right. The downside is very short-lived here. It's more of an ABC consolidation. Oil, amazing, right? Remember, we were insisting this will go down. It's a sell setup because this entire structure, that entire structure there was a corrective structure, and by all means, oil should go down. I think you all remember that. We keep following it. Some of our traders sold 886. They didn't keep it all the way, right? And that's part of trading. Sometimes you get a little scared of this pullback. You take out, you move to break even, it takes you out, and then it goes. Now they're consolidating under this trend, and this is interesting. This is very, very interesting. This move to the upside is a corrective structure. See that? With a lot of divergence, and they're consolidating here. If they consolidate here, I would be looking for much more downside, even retesting this low. So you may want to be very, very careful with that. Watching at least retesting this low, and then probably this low. So there may be a nice trade here, but you'll have to wait for some more consolidation. I think that's too short consolidation. So probably short-term upside and then the downside. One more wave within that short-term structure. So if you're looking for the immediate trade now, I think the immediate trade should be a trade to the upside. Let them make an impulse, make a flag, and then take that trade up. 1, 2, 3, and then look for the downside. It's in a consolidation. It probably will stay here for a while. Same with the UK oil. They're consolidating inside of the trend line, not outside. The US oil is outside of the trend line. UK oil is consolidating inside of the uptrend. Also corrective structure for more downside. Yep, but the upside may be short-lived, so you got to be careful. It's a nice upside right now, but it may be short-lived. Right? Natural gas, somebody is asking for this. I think we broke this structure, but we're not going anywhere. So what we'll have here is pretty much a huge consolidation. Right? They're kind of breaking up, breaking down. They'll consolidate here somewhat. Either they drop or they go back up. Right now, this is one that is unclear. It will be unclear until that consolidation tells us something. So for now, I'll stay out of natural gas. Cat Swiss, somebody wanted. Let me see Cat Swiss, stay out of this trade. It's at a point where it could turn to the upside. Let me just show you. Put it back in the daily. Yeah. It is a point where it could turn to the upside. You've got a sharp move here. Take this out. Let me take some of these. You've got a sharp move here. See that? You've got 1, 2, 3 in the making. Once they break this low, I think they could go back up. Now, there is one chance they may come all the way to this level to go, right? I'm not sure how far they're going to go, but it probably will give us one more to the upside. It's more of a very flat corrective structure. So if you're looking for a sell setup, be careful, because if you take the sell, it could be very short-lived and then start to go back up. I'd wait for a nice correction in here before I sell. Buying, that's not an option right now on this. There's no buy setup on that. S&P 500, you're going to get a very nice sell setup here probably. There's a small flag there, and they may come back to retest this low here, giving you a 1, 2, 3 before they go back up. So I think you'll look for some downside on the S&P 500 first. On copper, you're looking for downside. So let's put copper like this. If they break this structure here, you look for a sell setup. They're making a consolidation in here. So if they break the top, you'll retest this top before you go down. To the upside, you will have to wait for them to make a nice flag here. Same, you'd have to do, make a flag. So they'll break one way. Right now, this has 2 waves, and it's possible it could have, it has 1, 2, 3, 4. They could make 5 and then go back up. 3 waves is enough for a correction to go. So in this case, it's either way. Both ways possible. Wait for them to break, wait for them to make the flag, and then go. Okay, let's do this, DAX. This may go up a little more, but I would be interested in the sell. Only the sell. You can see that. You can see that already, right? Sell back to this level. Look for that sell. They may break the top, but even if they go to break the top, you will not get the trade. Right? Look for correction. It's about to happen. That correction is about to happen there. So you may be looking for a sell setup very soon here. Short term, if they climb to take the top, they'll do this. Right? This is contracting at the top there. You can see that. You're squeezing. That means they're going to come down. You don't like to sell. You don't like to buy when there's a structure like this in the making. The idea of buying into those structures are very bad ideas. If you want to buy, allow it to break out first. Then pull back, and then you start to buy. They have to prove that this is not a structure that will send it to the downside. See? So don't buy into structures like that, because you lose your money. What else do we have here? I think all of these were just trades and requests. Somebody was asking, and a lot of people were asking for the Turkish lira. Let's see what it's doing. I think you can get some more downside here. First, you're going to look for corrections. They're actually correcting up. Make a nice corrective structure, and you can look for the downside. Retest this low. Right? Something like this here. See that? And then they come down. They're not going to be such a big one here. Just a small one, and then downside. So definitely keep an eye on that. CAD, we already did the CAD. We're looking for a more bigger correction and then downside. Singaporean dollar, I don't have it on here. Let's see. Singaporean dollar, more downside. And the downside is going to end very quick. Right? You can see that this downside is coming. You want to look for a sell setup. Wait for a pullback. Don't sell it as it is. It's at the low. Just wait for a pullback first. And then sell. Wait for it to pull back. If they break this, I don't see them breaking that structure as yet. But if they break this structure, is upside. But I don't see that breaking as yet. I think this has potentially more downside. Pull back, go to the trend line. And then you'll see what happens there. I don't use indicators to trade. You don't see any on my chart, so that means I don't use them to trade. The MACD is not for trading purpose. The MACD is for a different purpose there. We don't use the MACD to trade. Don't confuse that. The 1 hour sell setup here, yeah, probably wait for a flag. I'd wait for a deeper correction already. I'll not take it in the 1 hour. Right? I think that's about it, guys. If we keep doing more charts, we'll run out of time. And I'll have leave some time for questions. So anybody, any questions? Go ahead. Let's take some questions and then we'll call it today. How do I avoid big gaps such as the Swiss franc crisis? If you were trading technically in the Swiss franc, you would probably see that it was a downtrend at that point. There was a sell set up in it. I actually showed the guys there was a flag. We were waiting for it to break the sell, but we never got it in because the break actually was the one that actually fell. I would not trade a currency if I think that it's open for manipulation like the Swiss franc was. Right? We had traders who were buying, and I was like, be careful, guys, because what if they lose it? I wouldn't say what if they lose it. What if it breaks that low? It could have broken and then go back up. But I'd never expected it to happen that much. But that's what happened, right? No one bank could actually control the entire market forever. For a short period of time, yes. Forever, no. We don't do, by the way, ABCDs, and so we're not teaching this. The webinar is not set up to teach you what is ABCD or WXYZ. That's something you'll have to learn. And it's a 6 weeks course only to tell you about it. And then the next 6 months to learn it. How do I do that in one webinar? S&P, no, it's in a correction. I just showed it. It's a correction there. I think there's more upside in it. Probably one more upside, and that would be it. Yep, if they peg it, don't trade it. They're intervening, right? Glad that I've changed your view. I hope more people will be more open like you to look at it that way. That is for somebody who said I've changed his view in trading. I hope more people are going to be open to look at this stuff, in a nice way. Just be ready to look at it, understand what it's doing, and you will learn. I think that's the whole point. Oh, for those who were interested in the course, those of you who wrote me and I replied, there is a technical delay in the course, and we will probably be doing it either very late April or early May. And the reason is I'm doing some restructuring. It has nothing to do with what we are doing. It has to do what I'm doing in terms of restructuring the whole group setup and how it's going to run. And because of that, registration and all those stuff, as you may know, they take long. They take longer than I expect. We will keep the next course. I've sent all of you a message, right? I think it's almost full, to be honest. There's like about 10 spots probably remaining, although we have increased the number of people who will be helping in the training. So many of you wanted the course. It's going to be late April or early May. I'll update you guys as soon as I can. Don't worry, I have you on the list. I have a list of everybody who I promised it. Once I told you, once you're in the list, you're on the list, right? Redo the Euro Yen. Let me do that, and then we'll call it a day. We still have 12 minutes if you have more questions. Let me look at the Euro Yen very fast. Yep, I think there may be some more downside, but like I said, I'm not interested in this last sell. Remember, there was a nice sell set up here. If this would make a flag here, there would be a nice sell. So there's a sell setup here, but I don't know how far that will go before it goes up. Now, if you're interested in this sell setup, it's very short term, and I don't think it's gonna go. What I'll prefer is let them go back up here and then make that one. Then look for a sell, right? If you want to buy it, wait for a break of this structure. There is a big move to the upside, but I'll wait for it to break the structure before I buy. Break that structure to the upside, and then you got to buy to the upside, right? What do I think about correlation? There's nothing like correlation in the market. I think this is what people mixed up for correlation. We have 10 minutes. I'll talk about correlation, and then we go. I think this is what currency traders mix up for correlation. Just think of it this way. You have the Euro zone that use the Euro currency. You have the US zone that use dollar. You have Australia, you have New Zealand, you have Swiss, you have CA for CAD, you have rubles. These are all separate economy. They are not correlated to each other. We do exchange them against each other. So what you will find that if only the yen is moving, let's say the yen, I didn't put the yen, right? Let's put yen. That will be J for yen. We can put Y. If the yen starts to move, the yen in relationship to all the other pairs will move. Let's say yen is getting stronger. A stronger yen, right, means downside in the dollar yen. So you will see dollar yen go down. You will see euro yen go down. You will see the pound yen go down. You will see the Aussie yen go down. You'll see the New Zealand yen go down. That means yen is getting stronger. It does not mean that those pairs are correlated with each other. What could happen is that you may see that CAD yen goes up. And that means CAD is getting a little stronger than the yen itself. Or you may see Aussie yen go up while the rest are going down. Or Aussie yen goes nowhere. And that means Aussie is getting as strong as yen is. They don't have to go the same direction. The thing people mix up for correlation is that, oh, because euro yen is moving like pound yen, they're correlated. No, they're not. That is because the yen is moving. These are simple ABCs. If you want to be a trader, you have to know these things. These are very, very basic stuff in Forex trading. I was surprised when, you know, some people who do webinars and teach people say, hey, well, I'm looking at the correlation of this to this. I'm like, where did you learn that stuff? Because if you know anything about Forex trading, you know that they can't be correlated. They're absolutely different economy. When the pound was falling, all the pound pairs were falling. It's not because they're correlated, it's because the pound is losing value. That's it. It's just that simple. At times you will see they go in opposite direction. They will go in absolutely opposite direction sometimes. Because they're not correlated. That's it. It's very simple. If you keep typing the Aussie cat so many times, you might not get it. That's the problem. No, I'm not Indian. I'm Guyanese. Come on. How many times you've heard people talk about my West Indian accent in here? One guy even commented how I pronounce the word tree, right? He said it sounds more like a tree than the word three, right? Well, I'm West Indian. You can't hide from that. You are who you are. I was born there. That's where I got my accent from, right? It's not accredited to me. It's not my you know. I was born there. That's all. Wherever you're born, you're gonna have an accent, right? You're born in Ireland, you're born in Scotland, or you're born in England, you will have a different accent, right? It's just that. It's that simple. As long as you understand what I say, we're all okay. I don't really care about the accent. As long as you understand what I say, I think that's a basic thing. If you can't understand it the first time, just stop and rewind again. What the hell did he say just now? I'll figure it out. If you look at 3 of my webinars, by the end of the 4th one, you will start even understanding the Caribbean accent, the Guyanese accent. So, okay, guys, glad to see so many of you. We did get above 300 people. I hope next webinar we get 600. Don't forget to invite a friend, share it. Somebody's going to tell you thank you for showing them or giving them the link of the webinars. All right, so I'll see all of you. Have a wonderful week and a successful week to all of you. Trade with care. Don't forget. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.